What's going on? It's Astronaut H, and this is the What More Do You Want Network. Now, in this video, I will be discussing tonight's game between the Chicago Bulls and Portland Trailblazers. And of course, this is my Bulls report. Now, the Chicago Bulls are coming off of a loss versus the Los Angeles Lakers in their last outing, and a game where it wasn't too much to be said about what the Bulls didn't do correctly, but it was more or less of they just didn't get out there and play to the ability that the Lakers had in that last outing. You know, you look at what could have been, because the Bulls were up after the first quarter, but ultimately ended in a loss. Now, in this particular game, the Chicago Bulls were without Patrick Williams due to an injury. I believe I did hear that the team did have him in a walking boot. So, of course, it's never good hearing about guys with injuries after already being down. Torrey Craig, after already losing Zach LaVine for whatever the period of time he'll be gone. So, the Bulls were without another starter in this particular matchup. Now, the Blazers, of course, their record is nothing to write home about, but still having guys that's talented and capable, the Anthony Simons of the world, the Jeremy Grants, the DeAndre Aytons, still having formidable talent, because that's what the NBA is today. Is just some teams just aren't winning. It's not because of lack of talent. I don't feel like that's what it is. I just feel like nightly other teams are just more talented than the other team that's going out there. So Billy Donovan did have a lineup that went with Vucevic, DeMar DeRozan, Alex Caruso, Kobe White, and Ayo Dosunmu. Now, on the onset of the game, you seen Ayo Dosunmu with a breakaway dunk to actually start the game. 5 seconds into the game, the Bulls were up 2-0. Now, as you see on the following play, DeAndre Ayton did get a lob pass from Anthony Simons, which you don't want to see if you're a Bulls fan. You don't want to see easy passes and layups and dunks early. Now, you did see the ball moving around. Of course, you've seen a three by Alex Caruso, one of the Bulls' main three-point specialists as we've been coming on to the season. You see Ayo Dosunmu start to get his offense going by getting downhill, getting to the rim. Now, as far as the offensive, defensive rebounding went, Ayo Dosunmu again getting out there and taking advantage of his, mismatch, or what I say, his match up. And he was getting to the basket a lot early in this game. You seen that, and that's one thing that I feel like was something that you can tell that Billy Donovan was being said on the starters. Just get up, get the pace going. Again, you see Kobe White breaking out on the rebound, but DeAndre Ayton with the block there. But again, like I said, mismatches is always some things that the Bulls, I feel like they can take and manifest into latter stages of the game. Again, guys like Ayo Dosunmu making his minutes worthwhile. A guy that comes off the bench was definitely making plays early on in the game. Now, you did see the Portland Trailblazers get out on the break here, but great recovery by Julian Phillips, a player that the Chicago Bulls want to see become something as far as the second unit goes. A guy that seen a lot of good minutes in tonight's matchup with Patrick Williams not playing. You see a turnaround jump shot there by Kobe White, and the Chicago Bulls were up by 3 with about 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. As we move on, you see more passes by Kobe White to Vucevic underneath for a dunk. And as we started to dwindle down into the latter stages of the first quarter, you see Julian Phillips using his athleticism for a nice move, get fouled. And that's one thing for especially the young players of the Chicago Bulls. You want to see them do even more. Take advantage of just their young legs. Get up and down the floor. Javon Carter makes a 3 there. The Chicago Bulls were up 26-23 as we go into the second quarter. You see Andre Drummond with a nice jump hook there. And honestly, and when you look at the early stages of this game, you look at parts of the game where you like, okay, where's the Bulls going to make their run? Where are the Bulls going to make their run? And I feel like in the second quarter, they started to gain a little distance. You see a move right here made by Scoot Henderson, going to the mid-range jump shot. Nice. And I like Scoot Henderson. I think Scoot could be a nice, young, promising wing for the future for the Portland Trailblazers. Again, he's very young. See a pass there by Alex Caruso to Kobe White. Of course, the one of the main consistent players for the Chicago Bulls this year, Kobe White. A lot of people say he should be in the running for most improved this year. A nice move there by Scoot Henderson again. You see the Bulls trying to make their way throughout the second quarter, but then you see the Blazers with a nice bucket there. Nice steal by Alex Caruso here, which leads to a run out and a dunk. The Bulls, again, they just couldn't gain ground. The Blazers were always right there where the Chicago Bulls were, especially without Anthony Simons' offense. So they were finding ways from everybody else. You see a nice scrum play here, which leads to a Julian Phillips alley-oop from Dalen Terry, who played really well tonight. And the Bulls, again, like I said, their runouts right there with a nice play from Kobe. And you want to see the Bulls do that more and more and more. You want to see them go out there and play like a team who know we're more talented than the Blazers. We don't have Zach LaVine. We don't have Patrick Williams. But ultimately, even with Vucevic, with DeRozan, we should still be able to beat this team by 10 to 15 points, honestly. Still pros on the other side, though. Nice seal there by Vucevic, which leads to a layup there. And the Bulls found themselves up by 46 to 38 with about 2 minutes to go in the first half. Nice block there, which leads to a 4-on-5 break by the Blazers. Got a layup on the other end. The Bulls were up 10 as we got down to the latter stages, but DeAndre Ayton with a nice dunk there, but you did see the Bulls here with a nice turnaround play, which led to an Alex Caruso 3 to end the first half. The Bulls were up by 11. And like I said, the Chicago Bulls versus this Portland Trailblazers team couldn't find their way, to be up by more than, so many points. I felt like this team could have won this game by a lot more. But due to the fact that, you're not taking this team serious, especially at this part of the third quarter, a lot of mucking up, a lot of just feet in the mud. You see Jeremy Grant start to make his staple. The Bulls were only up by 4 points at this stage of the third quarter, 8 minutes to go. You see Vucevic with a nice running hook right there. Bulls were up 6. Jeremy Grant started to assert itself right here in the third quarter. Started to back in, get a nice little dunk over Alex Caruso, who, with the foul trouble that Alex Caruso was dealing with, you didn't want to see him. Matisse Thybulle with a nice block there on Alex Caruso. Now, the Bulls were up to 57-55. You see Kobe White with a nice, I don't know how he got that shot over Malcolm Brogdon, but did. Bulls were up. Now, as we started to, again, Malcolm Brogdon, alley-oops to DeAndre Ayton over the top. The Chicago Bulls just, again, like I said, they could not find a way to just get away from the Blazers as we started to dwindle down into the latter stages of this game, especially in the third quarter. You see a nice turnaround jump shot there by DeMar DeRozan, which you like to see him start to assert himself. But again, guys, speaking of asserting themselves, that was one being Andre Drummond, especially in the second half. You started to see his scoring, but then the Blazers with a 3 there, 73-72, gave them the lead. The Bulls do get the lead back, and you start to see DeMar DeRozan, nice pass to Andre Drummond there. And if you are the Bulls, nice run out here by the Bulls, steal by Andre Drummond, which leads to a nice layup. Julian Phillips almost, got into the way of the nice, runaway break. Bulls find themselves up 83-75 at one point in the fourth quarter. But again, DeAndre Ayton is going to be, this was tough for me because DeAndre Ayton and Andre Drummond was on the floor a lot during the fourth quarter. So excuse me if I mistake two of their names at the same time, but you see DeMar DeRozan start to get his offense going in the fourth quarter, started to pick his spots after not having a good first half. But when you look at Anthony Simons, who was looking to dish because his shot wasn't going due to a lot of great defense by Alex Caruso and the Bulls, just a good game plan on him. You see DeMar DeRozan, top of the key, get to his spot. Nice jump shot there, baseline. Bulls find themselves up 8. Anthony Simons with a nice reverse layup there. But again, when you are the Chicago Bulls, you have to find a way to put a team like this away before the game gets away from you. You start to see Anthony Simons start to see his jump shot fall, and now they're down 3 points, 92-89, with about 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. But again, when you are the Chicago Bulls and you have a closer like a DeMar DeRozan who hits a 3 there to find yourselves up, now you're up 6 points instead of 3. And then again, nice move there by DeRozan with the up and under, gave Grant the body. And this is what the Chicago Bulls, this is who you look to. You look towards your closers, DeRozan, Vucevic, Zach LaVine, to be able to take you where you want to go as far as wins are concerned. Nice play there by Malcolm Brogdon. Again, these guys are pros. You cannot mistake that they're not going to make a run. Nice rebound there by Simons, which leads to a Matisse Thybulle running layup. Again, down 3 now. Bulls find themselves up 5 with about a minute and a half to go. Nice block there by Ayo Dosunmu. DeRozan throws it off of Anthony Simons, which gives the Bulls possession. Again, defense. This is just defense. There. Nice layup there by Anthony Simons. 3-point game. And as we dwindle down into the latter stages of the fourth quarter, you see nice ball rotation, which leads to an Ayo Dosunmu 3, which sees the Bulls up by 6 late in the fourth quarter. The biggest shot of the evening for the Bulls and Ayo Dosunmu. As we wind down, you see Alex Caruso with a nice defensive. They trap Anthony Simons at the top. Nice defense just all the way around, and the Chicago Bulls find themselves on the winning end of tonight's matchup versus the Portland Trailblazers by a final score of 104-96. The Chicago